Hello and welcome to the show. We have a big show for you guys today. All four of us are here, and I'm going to give you guys a second to get on live. We've had a little bit of trouble going live today,
Stream
but
Labs is really doing some good stuff for me this morning.
yeah, yes.
Good morning,
Oh
Snake of
wow,
Talons.
Snake of Talons joining us. That's
Hey, what's
awesome.
good?
Welcome to the show. Um, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it because I'm debuting a new segment. Um, you ever read someone's take that's just like, oh, that's a little iffy. I don't know about that one. Uh that's
I'm on
that's
the
the
podcast with you guys.
no, you. Let's look at that. Let's look at that clip from this week and talk, okay?
Yeah,
Um
let's not bring it up.
uh-huh. So this is a segment I like to call the iffy take of the week. And the first person that I'm nominating for this award, if you will, is Roland Emmerich. Now, if you don't know that name, that's okay. I'll fill you in. Roland Emmerich is the director of several blockbusters that you might have heard of. He directed Independence Day, for example. He directed Godzilla from 1998. He's known for things like White House Down, The Day After Tomorrow, movies like that. And Roland, he's doing the press tour for his new movie called Moonfall, and he said that Marvel, DC, and Star Wars movies are ruining the film industry. This is the quote. He was asked if the landscape of blockbuster films has changed in recent years, and he said, "Oh yes, because naturally Marvel and DC Comics and Star Wars have pretty much taken over. It's ruining our industry a little bit because nobody does anything original anymore. You should make bold new movies, And I think naturally Christopher Nolan is the master of that. I have it a little bit harder, but I still have a big enough name, especially when it's a disaster movie or has some sort of a disaster theme." Well, Roland, I have seen a couple of your movies, and disaster is a great word for what they are.
Yikes.
I mean, quite
What are
literally, he
disaster
does
movies?
disaster movies.
He literally
He did,
does.
Day After Tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, he
I think
did.
that was on that list, yeah.
Yeah. Let's just quickly go over, because he's saying that Marvel movies are ruining Hollywood. Let's go over the Rotten Tomatoes score of some of the movies that Roland has put out, just to see what this masterpiece filmmaker is doing. So we've got 2012, right? Which was, I mean, I don't know if you would consider that to be high art, but 2012, 39%
Okay.
tomato meter. Okay. Maybe and maybe the audience is like it more, right? Well, they liked it more, 47%. So, not exactly lighting it on fire. But how about this? 10,000 BC. Maybe this one will be better. You guys want to guess the tomato meter score for this movie?
That's got to be like
the
15.
critical score. 15?
10,000
Okay.
BC. I like that movie.
Yeah, what do you think it was? What do you think the score was?
I thought it'd be like maybe like a 60.
Wow. How about you, Kill?
I don't know, probably like a 40.
Yeah. 9.
Whoops.
Nope. I guess I was closest.
But you went over. You gave him a little too much credit. The highest rated movie that he's put out also happens to be, I believe, the highest grossing movie he's done is Independence Day, of course, the Will Smith driven vehicle. But yeah, not exactly lighting the world on fire, but maybe he's won some awards, and actually he has. So we should talk about that. That's fair, right? So Independence Day was nominated for the Golden Raspberry Awards.
What?
For worst written film grossing over $100 million. That's pretty tough. He did win for Godzilla. He won worst prequel, remake, ripoff, or sequel. So congrats for that one.
I think
Hey,
that's unfair.
Yeah.
Why not?
An award's an award too, so
Yeah.
I'll take it. Shit.
Yeah, if someone wants to give me an award, I'll take it. Worst host. Um,
No, I'd take that one by far.
I mean, and when you compare that to Marvel movies, obviously, right? This is not even a conversation. The worst performing Marvel movie is Eternals. That was pretty bad. But then Thor: The Dark World is the second worst performing at 66%, and that is a better score than literally every movie that Roland has directed other than Independence Day, which only beat it out by 1%. So
Yikes.
I'm not going to defend him here,
here we go.
but okay, I'm of two minds about this take. I think it is a boring take, first of all, because it's not a new take.
I can agree with that.
Scorsese, like,
Yeah.
it's not even a hot take at this point. This is
Right.
lukewarm at best. Yeah, he sprinkled in Star Wars there for a little bit, but it's a boring take. And especially with the pandemic, if superhero movies didn't exist, I'm not sure cinema would, like theaters would anymore.
Yeah.
Because most of the money that kept theaters afloat would be from like Shang-Chi, Spider-Man, like all those movies that managed to kind of squeak out there in the middle.
Yep.
And let the theaters actually get money. But creatively, I can get it. I can sort of understand.
Yes. There was a lot of originality in let me see, Godzilla.
Oh, I'm not saying for him in general, but
it's like, don't throw stones, right? Like, how dare you? How are
He's
you the
making superhero
guy?
Movies without superheroes in it for years now. So
Yeah.
But to be fair, he did do a whole different kind of Godzilla. Like it was derivative, but it was a different Godzilla. It wasn't the same guy, person, thing.
had Ferris Bueller in it.
Had
It was-
Ferris Bueller in it,
It was derivative, but
but it was different.
Yeah.
I just think it's a boring take now. Any old school director just says this in every interview now, and maybe
Well, but-
it's whoever's interviewing them now just always wants to bait them with this stupid fucking question.
And
but-
I think that's exactly what it is. It's a boring take and an easy click from, shitty interviewers.
well,
Like you say, it's not worth it.
all he was asked was, has the landscape changed? He didn't have to get into
okay. That
how
seems
Marvel
deep-seated.
ruined, cinema. Like that's a leap. Did the landscape change? Yeah, a pandemic happened. We don't have the same kind of budgets or whatever you can say, but to just
Streaming
say
happened as well at the same
Right.
Streaming got big right around the same time. People were forced inside due to a pandemic. So
right.
there's some extenuating factors there. I would say that superhero movies are helping theaters.
It's a little iffy. Little bit.
And, come on, buddy.
Yeah. Just do better. Make
better movies.
a movie that's different, and then get into critique. Like Christopher Nolan, if he said something like that, which I don't know that he really would, because he's made a lot of money from those films as well. It's like, okay, well, he makes original movies, so fine. Scorsese, like, I don't want to hear the take, but he's he's proven himself. Emmerich.
Yeah, I want to see a
I mean-
Scorsese Marvel movie.
A disaster movie is a different type of movie. It's not a good one, and he sticks to it. But it's,
I like The Day After Tomorrow, honestly, as a movie. I thought that was a pretty fun movie.
It might have been. I'm obviously I'm joking and poking fun. I love Independence Day. I'm sure 2012 was phenomenal. But no, well, yeah.
Pretty good. All right, it's a good disaster movie.
if you like
man.
disaster movies, yeah, it was definitely a disaster
It was one,
movie.
Yeah.
Before we move forward, I do want to say hello to everybody who is live with us on Twitch. Thank you guys for joining. The Medic, morning to you. Snake of Talons, once again, thank you for being here. He said, when you said he makes disaster movies, you meant he makes disaster movies with a capital D. Yeah, that's what they call it in Hollywood. The Medic, all publicity is good publicity. Yeah. Shenron says, morning. Hope everyone is doing good. Morning to you.
What's going on?
Yes. Make sure that you guys are following the channel. If you aren't, for whatever reason, we appreciate that. If you want to sub, if you would be so kind, that's obviously very much appreciated as well. We thank everyone who is with us live now and anyone who's going to watch this or hear this later on. We really appreciate you guys joining us. If you want to make your mornings, if you want to have your mornings with us, you can join us at 10 a.m. Eastern live on Twitch, Mondays everywhere else, YouTube, podcast hosting platforms. Leave us a follow, rating, a review wherever you listen to us. If that is YouTube, youtube.com/thecomics pals. Subscribe to our channel for free. Like this video, share it with your friends. All that stuff's free to do, and it helps us out a lot more than it costs you. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before this year is out.
Let's go.
That is our goal. We are on pace to do that with your help. Spread the word if you would be so kind. Just share our channel with your friends. If you've got friends that you know like comics, just put the worm in their brain. Give them a little teaser.
Ooh, like Mr. Mind.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Okay.
Let them listen to the latest clip that we have posted all over social media of Tyler speaking about what is what,
Yeah.
Ow. Why would you do
That
that? You specifically waited for me to take a sip, and then you're like, "Let's bring it
You
up
do it
about
to
my
me.
pussy." Yeah,
Hey, I didn't say that. You said it. Yeah, go listen to our latest clip. While you're at it, listen to the latest book club. We talked about Saga. We talked about 54 issues of Saga for you guys over the course of 2 hours. It was a great conversation. Come hang out and listen to that one and read the new issue of Saga. Also, real quick, want to plug Pals Pulls, which we do every Wednesday live at 6 p.m. Eastern. It's always an amazing time, so you're definitely going to want to come hang out with us for that. Don't know what we're reviewing this week, but you'll know soon. Let's we've got a lot of show to get into. We're going to be talking about the new Justice League comic book, Jurassic League.
Yo.
Madam Web is really happening, if you can believe that. And Wave 2 of Substack. I think Tyler titled it Substack Strikes Back.
Yeah, that was me.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds about right. But before we get into all that, we do have some listener comments to get through. So Tyler, why don't you take us into that?
Yes. So let me just go into. I've changed my slide there. Rahul M said, "Thank you for covering the mouse story with some care and context." Did we do that with care and context after?
After I got all deep voiced.
Yeah. It's very disappointing to see otherwise good content creators repeat the naive takes on this, that it was the bad language by silly, overly puritanical school board members, removed from any broader agenda by conservative groups and think tanks, that it was it wasn't a ban, merely a curriculum change. Talk about distinctions without any differences. Who are you listening to that were defending this?
No, that was a very common take, dude. People
Really?
were, yeah,
Really?
people were saying that we were not we, but like that the community was looking at this from the wrong angle. That there is a perspective of, especially if you read the transcripts, these are well-meaning individuals who are genuinely concerned about the content that their children are consuming at school and whether or not they were at the appropriate age to be reading a book of that nature. I think we were talking about 8th grade, like middle school. Would that be considered middle school?
Seventh, seventh,
yeah.
eighth grade.
Seventh, eighth,
Yeah. I think that's the age group we were talking about. Now, we understand that that's not what's going on because we have dealt with this. And I personally did a lot of research into that discussion topic, and I saw that these book bannings and challenges have actually been happening nonstop. This is an agenda. But if you haven't been doing that, and if you're inclined to give people the benefit of the doubt, then I guess I can see that take.
But I feel like there's also even at that age or even younger, I feel like the exposure to books about the Holocaust. I'm trying to remember like some of the nonfiction books that I feel like I read in middle school. I'm trying to find the like some random curriculum, but I remember specifically. Oh yeah, I Am a Star, by Igni Albacher. Like that's one that was just common for me in probably 7th grade. So the idea that that you're gonna ban it for language or for the exposure of this, like it's weird.
Yeah, we've been reading Eli Wiesel for years now. Like that's just a dummy take though from comic book communities. Like,
Iffy.
yeah, keep watching us, Rahul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. Minus Marco's weird voice, we did the right thing. We handled that conversation pretty well. So thank you,
By
Rahul.
laughing during it.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a comedy show too, right? We gotta thankfully Marco's not taking care of his freaking technology, so we can have moments like that.
Yeah, the weird
Thank
voice,
you, Rahul.
and then the deep voice.
So then we also had Devil Ice on the X Lives of Wolverine #2. X Lives of Wolverine sounds like a soap opera title now that I keep saying it after these couple weeks.
These are the X Lives of Wolverine.
That is a tremendous podcast idea, I think.
What, a Wolverine soap opera?
Yes. I'll listen
it's
to
about
it.
The love triangle between Scott,
Oh,
Jean,
it
and
is.
Logan. And
That's
it's
so
audio,
good.
and it's X-rated and wet.
Whoa, why? Wait, did
Like
you say
X-Lives.
wet?
I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I like that he escalated it when Sean didn't react at first.
Yeah, I had to.
He said,
Not
"Okay."
with that unscathed.
I'm gonna keep going.
Okay, so Devil Eyes said, the only part of X Lives 2 I wasn't able to follow understand. What was the purpose of him being in Japan? I thought the story was him following Omega Red through time and stopping him from killing Charles. What did him being back in Japan have to do with that?
That's a fair point. That was random.
I think I said this. My thought with that was, I think it's to sort of show the personal stakes for Wolverine, in that he's going through moments in his life that matter as well as the moments where it's connected to Charles.
Maybe Charles is in the womb, and he just made Charles.
What?
Wasn't
Okay.
wasn't
he's got-
Dakin in the
because
womb?
he's right though. Charles needs to
Dakin.
be within the story in these different parts of memory, unless he's outside in Japan somewhere.
But that was Dakin's mom, though.
Or
Yeah,
is
I guess.
wait,
Okay.
wait, is Dakin Charles?
Whoa, Yankee with no brim. Whoa.
The hell does that mean?
It's a New
I'm
York
assuming
thing.
it's a
Never mind.
wrestling thing.
New York.
It's not. Okay, yeah, I don't know. I feel like this whole book or this series, not Death but Lives, is like wait it out. Like, I think we'll get answers. We just ain't getting them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Next.
Then Langston Brown. What is your guys' opinions of Strange Adventures as a completed story?
Very good. I would say it was excellent. I think that, we gave Tom King a really hard time on those early reviews. Yeah, Tyler wasn't here. He's absolved. The man, by the way, who
I
swears
love the
by
CIA.
swears by Heroes in Crisis.
Whoa. Not anymore. I backtracked.
put that on him.
I backtracked.
You were all over Discord defending
Flip-flop.
that book.
Flip-flop.
Yeah. We gave Tom a really hard time, and I think it was justified. I think that those early issues were, a little bit self-indulgent. And I think that there was a way to make it more engaging in the earlier pieces. But once we really got into the story and we kind of started to get more teases and character beats that were really enjoyable, as the veneer fell away, I think a really powerful story was revealed. And I loved it. I haven't read it fully back. I want to do that. But yeah, I do feel like ultimately I'm satisfied with what we got.
Yeah, 100%.
Did any of you guys get the trade?
No.
No.
Okay.
Maybe I'll pick it up.
It's on
Just
my
read
list
it
of
over
things I want
once,
to get.
yeah.
Right now, Flintstones is on my list, but yeah, I
Ooh,
want to read
that-
that as a collected book.
Strange Adventures. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe we'll do a book club or something.
Tom King versus a Mr. Miracle versus I don't know, one of his other Rorschach or something.
Rorschach's
I
good, dude.
I think Rorschach's better.
I think so.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to say, but maybe we should. That would be fun. We could do all of Tom's books in like a round rob, not round robin, like an elimination series,
Madness.
March Madness type thing.
Mega
Yeah.
Man. That's
Vision, man.
here's
Vision.
a crisis. There's the bottom slot.
Maybe Batman. No, Heroes in Crisis is worse than that.
Only we had a show where we ranked things.
If only. If you put in the chat if you've read any of Tom's work, what's your favorite Tom King book? What book would you nominate to be at the tippy top of a list like that, or what do you think would come out on top?
And also, if you have a favorite war criminal in his books, put that in there as well.
War criminal?
Yeah. You got Adam Strange. You got
Gotta be Adam Strange.
You got most of the Omega Men characters. Any of the Sheriff of Babylon characters. What else?
Definitely them.
Wally
You
West.
can say Wally. Yeah, you can say Wally. It's a superhero war, I guess, in a way. It's, you know. I don't know.
Wow.
He likes making people do war crimes. It's fine. I like the work. But
That's what working for the government will do to you.
hey,
Don't
he
put
wears
that.
his baggage on his sleeve, which I appreciate.
Unbelievable. Thank you to everybody who took the time to write in. We really appreciate that. It means a lot. And we love reading your comments, so keep them coming. Quick PSA for you guys. Tickets for the Batman will be going on sale February 10th. Set your watch, because I'm telling you guys this now. It is going to be hard to get tickets to this movie.
Okay.
Whoa, Tyler.
You're pausing. You're pausing. That was a little
Wow.
sus, but
No, my pause wasn't sus. Your reaction was sus.
I am on a lot of caffeine right now, so time is going much slower for me. So I'm hearing these pauses a little quicker.
I think time goes slower for you in general, because when you hear a slight pause, when you hear a breath, you stretch that out to be like, oh, my time is now, and you jump right in. So February 10th, you're definitely going to want to be on Fandango or wherever it is that you buy your tickets from, because this movie is going to be hot. It is being said that the Batman is on track for the biggest Batman release ever.
Dang.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Do we know? I'm guessing Dark Knight Rises was the biggest previously.
Hey, I have all those numbers, so we're going to gamify it like we do everything else.
Shit.
Let's go.
Now, here's the question.
Mhm.
Which movie that Batman is in is the highest grossing movie that Batman is in?
You phrased that oddly.
I will answer.
Sure.
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is my answer.
Okay.
I can give reasoning behind this as well.
Sure.
Because once people saw that, a lot didn't return for Justice League.
Interesting.
Okay.
By the way, I just want to say this so we know. I'm talking about the overall haul, not just the opening weekend. Just want to throw that out there.
Overall haul.
Yeah,
I'm still going to stay with it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Dark Knight.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Dark Knight.
There's a lot of re-releases on that one.
The medic says Tyler is quiet.
I'm quiet. Okay, maybe I should. I can fix that. That's fine.
Don't fix it too much.
You don't want to hear too much of me.
Hurricane Tyler.
Want to know what your individual nose hairs have to say about Batman
Very
releases?
opinionated.
Anybody else want to throw Marco Kale,
I'm also saying Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
If only he was in the Joker, I would have said Joker.
I'm gonna count Joker. No, I'm not gonna count Joker. I
Yeah,
won't
you
count
can't
Joker.
count that.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's not a Batman movie if Batman's not in it.
Yeah, yeah. Kale, did you guess?
I said Dark Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark Knight. Okay, so
Years
two Dark
ago.
Knights and a Batman
And
Superman.
a stinker.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Whoever wins, we lose.
the answer is, frankly, the correct answer. The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh damn. Okay.
That's what I said.
Uh,
Your mic
Yeah,
must have cut out when you said rises. I
Yeah.
That means
Dark
Dark Knight.
too low. Yeah.
the Dark Knight. That's the. Yeah. So the Dark Knight Rises is the highest grossing Batman movie. It made 1.8 billion worldwide. Joker is up next. We didn't count it, but it did make 1.7 billion. The Dark Knight, just shy of a billion. It made 998.6 million. Gotta put that
I'm
back out
trash
there.
at this.
Really?
Batman Superman actually only made 872.3 million. Now, Tyler, I will tell you, if we were just talking about opening weekend, you would have been right.
Maybe that's what I was thinking. That's the feeling I had. Yeah. If
Yeah.
we're talking quality, their correct answer would have been Batman Forever. But
Man, Tyler, you are on my wavelength, because
Yeah, wavelength.
that's the next thing I want to talk about.
oh boy.
Robert Pattinson, man who was playing Bruce Wayne in the Batman, said that there are no bad Batman movies.
There are.
He said,
Love it.
out of all the comic book characters and that kind of movie, I've seen every single one of the Batman movies in the cinema, which I can't really say I've done for any other series. I was always really looking forward to them coming out. There was a combination of just being so attracted to it, but also feeling like it had a lot of movies made about it, and none of them are bad movies. People kind of shit on some of them, but they're not actually bad. They all kind of completely achieve what they set out to achieve, and they're all really interesting according to their time and place. I don't know. I just had a weird instinct about it, but I've always loved the character. Do you agree with Robert Pattinson?
I think I do.
Yeah, honestly,
Mhm.
it's pretty good. That's a good take.
I think.
This-
Oh, please.
No, I was gonna say this lines up with my idea of Batman in general. He's a malleable character.
Mm.
You can kind of do whatever you want with him, and I think the films have kind of shown that. So yeah, I'm with Robert Pattinson on this one.
And if you're a capable director, you know, you can engage audiences into whatever the story that you're trying to tell. Like Batman Forever, sure, is goofy, but it's fun.
Chat, is there a bad Batman movie? Please help
That's
me.
it.
Help me.
That's the thing. Schumacher came in and he was like, I just want Batman to have a good time. Why is everybody so mad around here?
I do not agree with this at all. Now, if you're saying, did the movies achieve what they set out to achieve? Yeah, I think that's true. I think Schumacher got what he wanted, but I don't think that makes the movies not bad. Like bat nipples, you know, can we get serious right now?
What do nipples have to do with the quality of the film?
They have to do with the fact that Batman had nipples, that the suit had nipples. That was a complete 180
I
from
think it
what
made
we had
sense.
seen. Huh?
It made sense for the movie
How?
because he's fighting Mr. Freeze. Those things are gonna get hard in his suit.
Oh my
Gotta
god.
protect him.
He needed to find
Yup.
a way to like keep them formed in. Otherwise, they're pressing against the suit. Then he has
You
nipple
get
chafe.
chafe.
There
The-
is
the
a
bat-
reason for the bat nipples.
The Bat credit card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This
Makes
is
sense.
what does he say? This is the reason Superman works alone.
Exactly. See, that explains it for you. I think.
The medic. What about the Batman movie when he and Joker went back to Japan's past?
I think you're thinking of Ninja Turtles 3. And frankly, high five.
X Lives of Batman. You could probably, well,
Is that a real?
That's-
real movie.
that's Grant
Batman.
Morrison's Batman.
Batman
you're- the-
Ninja.
oh yeah, Batman Ninja,
That
right?
shit was good.
Oh,
I don't know what
yeah,
you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah,
That was
okay.
good.
Yeah, I don't know. I love the spirit of what Robert Pattinson is saying here, but I mean, you can't sell me on Tommy Lee Jones's Two-Face. That was
Of
an
all the things in
abomination.
of all the things in that film, Tommy Lee Jones is what you have a problem with?
Mhm.
Man, you need to go back and watch that movie.
I really don't. I have seen that movie too many times in my life, and
My
I am
favorite
a
thing is-
massive Two-Face fan, and that shit was not Two-Face.
my favorite thing is that the people writing Batman comics right now grew up with that movie, so they brought Chase Meridian back into the Batman comics.
Yeah.
And she's like a major character now. So I'm like, all right, yep, cool with it.
What a great character name, Chase Meridian.
Right? It's so
Man.
good. It's so good. You remember it. That's the thing. That's all that matters, really.
I need help. I really like Chad. I really need your help right now. You gotta come through for me. Convince these guys that
Not
this is
happening.
incorrect.
No,
Guys,
dude.
Bane?
Yeah,
Oh
my
God.
Yeah, dude.
Come
Oh
Batman
my
and Robin.
God.
As
Poison
a child,
Ivy.
As a child, I was afraid of Bane.
Yeah.
Plastic lips.
Yeah, that's right. So good.
Little
He's so
problematic to
smart.
think back on it, but
The Medic. You need to watch it again. No,
I agree.
Yeah, dude.
Get him.
no.
Tommy
I'm not
Tommy
doing
Lee
it.
Jones should have gotten an Oscar for
He
his
should've.
portrayal of Two-Face.
He should have gotten a Razzie.
He should have gotten two of them. You're absolutely right.
He should have gotten an
Two
Oscar and a
Razzies?
Razzie to be this duality there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I just can't with you guys.
Tough.
We're gonna talk about the Batman again in a couple of weeks ahead of its release because there's a lot more. What's that, Tyler?
So I'm gonna have to watch that. I forgot.
Were you not planning to?
I don't know. I just haven't been to movies in a while.
When was the last
Keep
time you went to the
forgetting
movies?
Spiderman.
Okay, so that was like 3 weeks ago.
I guess. Yeah. I guess that's the last time a good movie came out. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go see The Eyes of Tammy Faye Baker.
Is that a Rom V book?
Medic. Yeah, I did. It was a bad time.
It's called The Comics Pals.
Let's shift gears because I need to cleanse my palate, and the easiest way to do that is by talking about dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs, and we're going to talk about them for the next 10 minutes because DC has announced the Jurassic League. Now, that alone is like, wow, cool. The Jurassic League. What could that be? Now, it's a comic book in which all of the Justice League heroes and villains are dinosaurs. Pretty cool. Now, here's the hook. Daniel Warren Johnson is writing it.
More amazing.
More amazing. But he's not drawing it.
Yikes.
But that's okay because the person drawing it is no slouch. Juan Gedeon is doing it, and the preview images that we have seen, the shit looks amazing.
They look very Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Tyler, do you have by chance
I don't have
that
the
image?
art, but I can
Okay.
get it. Yeah.
So there's one preview image in particular of the Batman as, what is he, like a raptor? I don't know what he
I
is.
believe so. It's the with him jumping. I mean, they're anthropomorphic dinosaurs, so I can't
Yeah.
really tell which one he is. And he doesn't have
He-
feathers, so it's not really accurate. But yeah, I digress.
Well,
he
he's wearing
looks-
he's wearing a mask.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, of course, we can't figure out who it is.
Yeah.
He looks incredible. The colors are beautiful. The design, the physical body of the character is incredible. Man, this is gonna be fantastic. Look at
I
that
just-
cover.
I just noticed the logo for the first time. It's got a pterodactyl head on the top of the
Yeah. It's
Oh,
shield.
that's so cool.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
there. I just threw it
So-
on the stream.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yo, I love this
Uh,
idea. I'm hungry for a dinosaur comic.
Block
I
us out for a
tweeted
second,
tweeted that out in November. I'm like, yo, where are the dinosaur comics at? Because honestly, fucking is cool.
It
I just
really
like-
is.
I just like how Daniel Warren Johnson is just like a kid playing in a sandbox. Like he likes all the shit I liked as a kid: pro wrestling, metal music, dinosaurs. You know, like it's just, and he just does what he likes and it works. So, yeah.
But it's also cool that they're trusting him to just tell this kind of a story. Because where else are you gonna like? We were gonna get B-Rex, which was amazing in and of itself. But now we're getting the whole Justice League, and if B-Rex made one of those like appearances, that'd be hilarious. He's not, because this is different. But it's cool when you just get a publisher to let you make the kind of book that you want to make, because there's so much creative flexibility there, and you get a really good product. That's why we loved whatchamacallit,
Beta Ray
the-
Bill.
Beta Ray Bill,
Beta Ray
yeah.
Bill. Like it was just him doing everything that he loves to do, and he had fun, and we had fun because you could feel that.
Do you guys see any particular Justice League members being specific dinosaurs?
That's a
in
good
your head?
question.
Do you match any of those up?
Um,
I can.
I would.
see-
Go ahead.
I was gonna say pterodactyl, hawk girl, hawkman. That one makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A plesiosaur with Aquaman.
Oh, that'd be pretty funny. That'd be for a good gag.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman as a Triceratops, which I think she is on the cover,
Yeah.
really makes sense.
He
Yeah.
talked about that design a little bit. Juan Guidon, like why he wanted to do that. And then Joker, that was cool. Like him
Yeah.
choosing that's essentially the dinosaur that spits in Newman's face, the Diplosaur or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because he's got
Such
the
a
wings.
good-
Okay, yeah.
Such a good looking thing.
Yo, you guys want to know a crazy dinosaur fact?
Yeah.
So the time between humanity, like current day, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex is less time than the Tyrannosaurus Rex existed and the Stegosaurus existed.
Okay. Can you say that in another way? Because that broke my brain.
Yeah, I know. You think the Stegosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex were kind of around the same time. They weren't. Completely different eras.
Oh.
Yeah, so
What?
Fantasia, that movie totally lied to you. That awesome fight scene at Fantasia never happened in real life.
Yo, that's interesting. I love dinosaurs.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, I got obsessed with extinction events that have happened on Earth, which makes sense because we were in one. And we still are.
So, yeah.
But yeah, I learned a lot about dinosaurs at that time. And there's a band called The Ocean, metal band, that makes music about that. You know about that, Tyler?
I know about The Ocean. I feel like I've listened to them before.
Oh my God,
Did
you're
they
the
do
first person I've
Did
met
they
that.
do a Paramore cover? Years back? I'm
Not to my
mixing them with
knowledge.
Someone else then. Never mind.
Not to my knowledge. But yeah, Marco, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, I just Googled them. That's awesome.
Yep. All their albums are concept albums about a different extinction era in humanity's, or not in
What?
humanity, in Earth's history. Yeah.
That's cool.
Do they have one
Mhm.
on about this one going on? currently?
Not yet.
Oh yeah, right here, Precambrian
hmm
Phenozoret.
You love a
What?
good concept album, don't you?
That's my shit. Yeah, Snake of
Yeah.
Talons. I was just about to shout you out because I do think you would love The Ocean. They're incredible. But yeah, yes, I do love a good concept album. Coheed and Cambria is my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this book is also my jam. First of all, Batman looks like a wrestler. These costumes look very wrestling inspired, which I love. And I can't wait for Daniel Warren Johnson's wrestling book as well.
Ooh.
Like, this dude has the hot hand right now. It's for my tastes.
It's still not officially announced, right?
Not yet.
I don't.
The
He's just
wrestling
been
book?
posting
No.
about it. He's
I
been posting
think-
it on. His
Yeah, he's
Instagram.
talked
Yeah.
about it, right? Yeah, so I guess technically it's not an official announcement. Yeah, fair enough. What is officially announced is that Dakota Johnson will be playing Madame Web.
Madame Web.
Madame Web in
shot my Madame Web.
In the first Some See movie that features a female superhero.
The first what? Can you say that again?
Some See.
Some see?
Some See. That is the what's that called? An acronym? Sony universe of Marvel characters.
Ugh.
Oh, I hate that. Wow.
Sounded like a friggin' USB adapter. Like a
Sunk.
USDA could have.
Oh, Tyler, this picture. Come
Oh.
on.
That was a great tweet.
yeah.
It's a great tweet. I see the vision. It's a tweet that shows Madame Web on one side. You know, she is blind, so she has like some type of blindfold over her eyes. And Dakota Johnson from 50 Shades of Grey with a blindfold on for a very different reason.
I think this is 50 Shades Darker when she was on the St. Andrew's Cross. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Why do you know that?
Oh,
I don't know that.
Of course.
I've never seen those movies.
Yeah, I saw.
I would've
them in the
watched them.
theater. It was a strange experience.
Wait, you went to the theater to watch Fit? Oh, explain
Yeah,
that.
I went with like 6 friends. We just all went, and yeah, I remember there was like an article going around where like movie theater workers were finding like used cucumbers in the back rows. They're
No.
come on.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Was that The Onion?
No.
Or is that real?
No, cucumbers, not onions.
Oh my God. That's
I have to say,
absurd.
I can probably find that article, but I don't want to. Actually, no, I'm not Googling cucumbers 50 Shades. That's, you know what, I am.
Hey, I Googled some wild stuff on Wednesday.
That's true, yeah. Movie theaters
What-
keep finding cucumbers after. Yeah, this is a
No.
Vice article. It was under their food section. Really, Vice? This is not a food
Ah.
article.
Oh
So-
my
Oh,
God.
boy.
Okay,
Ja-
so-
Jamie Dornan's a handsome dude. I get it, you know. So
Is the idea that she's gonna lead a movie?
Yes. So let's get into it. Thank you for bringing us back to reality. So Dakota Johnson will play the main character in the Madam Web movie, but we don't know exactly what that means because Madam Web's history is a little bit funny. I want to say, first of all, that this announcement has pissed off a lot of people. There are a lot of people really mad. They feel that this is ableism. They feel that this is ageist. They feel it's erasure because they did not cast an old, disabled woman in the role.
she's disabled.
Madam Web, yeah.
I feel
Blind
She has
dog.
a disease. The original Madam Web. There are 2 Madam
Okay.
Webs.
That's maybe what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
The original Madam Web is Cassandra Webb.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but really,
You think they do the alliteration like Wendy Webb, something like that?
Wendy Webb. That
Lost art.
doesn't sound. That's yeah.
that's a lost art nowadays.
No, that sounds like a name for a different kind of entertainment. Wendy Webb. Busty Betty. You know, like come on, man.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's a Betty Page arc, right?
Well, that's what they were going to call Wonder Woman first, but
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. This would
Wendy
work for-
Wackham.
She would work as a good Wonder Woman origin character actress. So wrong superhero movie, I guess.
Agreed. So she does have a neurological condition, myasthenia gravis, and that's what causes her disability. Now, the likelihood that Dakota Johnson is playing that character is very low. More likely, she is playing Julia Carpenter, who is the character that we traditionally associate, I think. Well, maybe not anymore. Maybe in earlier times as Spider-Woman. She's like,
yeah.
like 90s Spider-Woman. That character would go on to become Madam Web in more recent comics, where she gets the powers because the OG Madam Web died. So I think that this movie is probably going to feature a character who is the original Madam Web, a different actor playing that role, and that character will empower Julia Carpenter, who Dakota Johnson will be playing, to be Spider-Woman, and that will be the story for the next, for her future movie. That's what I think.
Is this how we get the old lady that was Granny Wendy and Hook into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Maggie Smith.
Huh?
Isn't Maggie Smith Professor McGonagall?
Is this the old lady from Downton Abbey? Is this how we get her into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
We could. Do we want her there?
As Madam Web?
Downton Abbey. I don't.
Do we want her there? It's only a matter of time, Marco.
Yeah,
I just
go ahead.
I just got an alert. We are now officially the longest podcast in history to talk about Madam Web for the longest time. Wow.
Well, I just wanted to say that, I think people are jumping the gun with the ableist ageist thing. I think too many people don't read comics and not that I know everything about Madam Web, but like a simple Google search will help you out. Like some of these comments are outrageous. So somebody on Twitter said, hell no, disabled actresses exist. Madam Web is a canonically blind character with myasthenia gravis. Disabled mimicry is so annoying. And then they follow up with, and before you comic book dweebs get your knickers in a twist, yes, I know about the Julia Carpenter version. This casting most likely means they'll introduce the OG Cassandra Webb combined with elements of Julia, so it'll still be disability erasure. Okay, how do you get from completely shitting on it as ableist, right, to then saying, yeah, I know all about it, which if you know all about the Julia Carpenter angle, you are also a comic book dweeb. And you jump right over the angle that I said, where they're both characters that exist in the movie, and you go to, yeah, they're just going to erase Cassandra Webb and bake all that character into Julia Carpenter. That's bad faith. That's an argument that you're making because you didn't know about Julia Carpenter when you made the original tweet. I love when people do stuff like that.
As somebody who has backtracked on Heroes in Crisis pretty publicly, I can smell a backtrack when I see one. Whoa, hey, I knew about that, I swear. I definitely thought that through and wasn't an immediate reaction to something that I needed to tweet about.
Yeah.
My first thought came to Marissa Tomei being the new Aunt May. Like, were people up in arms about that?
A little bit.
Yeah?
A little bit. Because every Aunt May has gotten younger.
Hey, no issues there.
I think that once they saw Marissa Tomei, they were like, yeah, I'll let it slide.
Specifically for Marissa Tomei.
Yeah.
I don't want this movie. Like,
we're
just makes
really scraping the bottom of the barrel at Sony, aren't we? In terms of character and IP.
What are you even gonna do here? Like, what is the premise? How does this work? What does she do that makes her so amazing as like a lead?
Yeah, nothing.
Like, yeah, talks to Spider-Man, who they don't have.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. But that's enough about Madame Web. Hopefully we don't talk about that movie again until the trailer comes out on the 33rd of 2090.
Interesting.
Instead, let's talk about Secret Invasion. What year is this?
2015?
No.
Nice try.
Apparently it's 2008 all over again because Marvel is
damn,
revisiting. Yeah, right. Get with the times. Marvel is revisiting the Secret Invasion once again. It appears that this is going to be like a Secret Invasion 2. Like they're legit calling it a sequel.
Interesting.
Wait, sorry. Are we not talking about the Samuel L. Jackson movie?
No.
He has a movie called Secret Invasion.
there's a it's a series coming out, right?
Oh,
Disney Plus,
yes.
they're filming that right now.
Yeah.
We're sort of talking about that. We'll get to it, but
Oh, okay. They're
Um,
they're actually doing a Secret Invasion too. I missed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Come on.
So this comic is, of course, going to come out because they're tying into the movie or the TV show, rather. And it's going to be written by Ryan North, who did the Squirrel Girl book.
Yeah.
Secreter Invasion. Zimbu the Monkey, thank you for that comment. Follow if you haven't, by the way, please, and thank you. Welcome to the stream. So it's going to be written by Ryan North with art by Francesco Mobili, who is really talented. This sequel they're presenting in a different way. IGN has a whole interview with Ryan North, and he basically talks about the ways in which he wants this version of the Secret Invasion to be different. And a large part of that is by removing the element of surprise that the Skrulls had in the first one, which sounds weird. But basically what he says is that in the first one, humanity was not ready. They didn't know or didn't think to know that this would one day happen, that a scenario like this would occur. And so they got caught with their pants down. But that this time, since then, humanity has prepared for an invasion from the Skrulls similar to the one that happened during the Secret Invasion, and that they're not going to be caught unaware in the same way. And so this story is less about, humanity's lack of preparedness, which that angle would go on to matter from a storytelling standpoint, because that's why we got Norman Osborn in charge and all that jazz. That we're losing that angle, and that this time it's going to be more about humanity just being overwhelmed by how far the Skrulls are willing to go to get Earth. And then it's going to be focused more on Maria Hill, Nick Fury, and Tony Stark this time around. And that while there will be elements of surprise as far as like, who do you trust? Mostly it's not going to be about that.
So it's not a secret anymore. It's just an invasion.
Right.
All right.
so
Whatever.
less secret invasion.
The least secret invasion.
That was a 80s event for DC.
The least secret invasion?
No, just
Yeah.
invasion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was.
I mean, I love the Secret Invasion event. It has flaws, mainly uplining a whole production cycle for a year, with every book having to have a Secret Invasion tie-in. But I actually like the main book and what happens in it.
Yep. For the most part.
I do like this. Ryan North is someone I enjoy. I hope he doesn't do his patented bottom page text.
Oh, see, I hope he does.
Really? Oh, that used to annoy me after a while.
I think if you got Ryan North, you got to work
I
with
guess so.
what that comes with.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this team, and this seems to be more of an espionage book, even though it's a less secret invasion. They're really focusing on the super spies of the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
which is kind of what I expected the TV show to do. So I'm guessing this might be a way of resetting comic book readers' expectations for what to expect in the TV show, and maybe tie into that, because what the TV show is going to be is not what the original event was. They can't do that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited for it.
So I'm one of those people who still hates it whenever they use the name of a thing that happened in comics that was significant and then like really drag it down to the bare bones. It bothers me. It really does. The Secret Invasion concept is so rich that I can't even imagine why you would want to do it as a TV show when that could be an incredible arc of film.
And that they haven't used it is frankly ridiculous, especially after Civil War.
Yeah. Imagine if, and this might have been too much, but like imagine if after Endgame, one of the dead heroes actually was a Skrull.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm into it.
I wonder, is there like, I've not read the event, so is there just like a lot of setup to it, and that's why they can't do it in the way that they would.
The main setup is that they find Elektra's dead body, and it turns out she's a Skrull, and so they're like, "Oh shit, Skrulls are back," and they're posing as superheroes. And then it was just a giant marketing campaign back when people actually marketed comic books, where it's like, who do you trust? Who's a Skrull? I don't think there's much setup to it. It's literally just that. But it's just
It happened
all-encompassing.
right after. I mean, right after Civil War.
Yep.
So like the line wide implication was that like the people who, you know, for you know, the smart people were like, you know, obviously Tony Stark is a Skrull. Why would Tony Stark do all this shit? And a lot rode on that for a while, and fueled a lot of marketing for the book. And I guess it took a while and needed a lot of setup, but at the same time, like I think, you know, in the MCU, you could do that at the, you know, that's an end scene if there ever was one, you know, an after credit scene.
Yeah.
Shenren in the chat says, "Is this coming in 2022? Because Marvel is being full with events." I don't see this being marketed as an event. It just seems like it's really been marketed as a mini series. Like they're really stressing that forward. So
I think they're tempering expectations. They don't want you to think about this as like the next big thing. They clearly have that space laid out for Judgment Day. This is coming out because they want something Secret Invasion on the stands when the show's out. It is coming out in 2022. It's just going to be a limited series. And I don't think that, I mean, even Ryan North says in the interview, it's not going to have the same kind of line wide, what's the word I'm looking for? Repercussions that the OG did. So let's see.
That being the case, right? That's frustrating to hear because then you're just wasting the name associated. You know, you're slapping it down for like a mini, essentially. It's like if go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's like if Empire had been this whole bigger thing, and then you bring it back a few years down the line, but it's just an arc of a mini. Then what did that matter? What does that matter to the original series at that point?
Nothing.
Even the fact that they're taking away the secret part is pretty ridiculous.
It's just an invasion.
Yeah, like, so what is all this hanging on? Like, the aliens invade the Marvel universe constantly.
Stream went down again. That's so annoying.
It's up. It's just kind of going in and out. Like the stream itself is up, but
all right. Well, yeah, I mean, we have a comment from Zimbu the monkey. He said, or they said, kind of disagree. TV allows for more subtle, gradual development. Just compare the top tier TV with films if done right. Yeah, I definitely see that perspective. It's just that in terms of scale, you're never really going to get the same kind of scale and scope from a TV show that you will, or in a movie, or in a TV show that you would get from a movie. And there are certain things that are cut off. Like you're not going to have Captain Marvel, War Machine. Well, you might have War Machine. These Spider-Man, like they're not going to be a part of it. So that means that it's going to be a smaller scale thing. And that's not what I want for Secret Invasion. It has the potential to be bigger and grander than that. So yeah, that's my feeling about it. But I'll read it because it's Marvel and it's an event and I'm a sucker. We know.
Is anyone looking forward to the show?
No. I'm not.
It's not a surprising answer for me, but no.
Yeah. This is probably one of the shows that I'm the least interested in. We don't have much material in terms of like marketing trailers, whatnot, and it feels low energy, I guess, compared to some of the stuff. Like I was hyped for WandaVision, for Falcon Winter Soldier, but like this, meh.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about something that is a lot better news. Graphic novel sales were up 65% in
Damn.
2021. I like annually and maybe twice a year to remind people of how wrong they are about the take that comics are dying. I think that there's an element within the industry. There are people who like to be the doomsayers, and I'm sure that exists everywhere. People who want to be the first to say, yeah, I told you so, comics are dying, dude. And so that whenever that happens, they can say, yeah, remember when I said that? Comics were dying and they're dead. Well, you're wrong, because 65% in 2021, up from 2020, that's amazing. And especially when you consider the fact that from 2019 to 2020, they were up 100%.
See, that I think is a better number, because to be fair, 2020 they stopped publishing of certain things.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was all across the board for graphic novels necessarily, because I think they still had pipelines for like Barnes and Nobles and the like. But from 2019, that's a more indicative number, because that supersedes the year-over-year growth 2019 to 2020, and the I guess the down period for 2020, just across the industry.
Yeah. It is a weird time. And so you would think, and I thought I got on this podcast and said that we were in for a lean period in 2020. I said that, but I was wrong. And I'm generally positive about the state of comics. So, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, which is manga. Manga manga's baked into this. When they say graphic novels, manga's included. I wish it wasn't, not because I don't want manga to be a part of the conversation, just that I want to look at how comics are, like how American comics are doing, and use that as a gauge. Because if manga's doing well, that helps the comic stores, but that doesn't necessarily give us an insight into how the publishers of American comic books are doing. But we do know that the adult graphic novel section was up 107%. But again, that does include manga, which sold up 17 million units. That's crazy.
17 million?
17 million.
That must be more than the American comic industry combined. Like, that has to be.
Dude. You think so?
17 million?
Yeah.
What would you get units wise on a Batman monthly, let's say?
For a year?
For a year.
I mean, I have one of the graphs up on the stream.
Go ahead.
You can see the volume of units sold between 2020 versus 2021, and it separates it between superhero and manga. And manga is literally like 4 times as much.
Yeah.
So
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, manga's really really carrying the load here on the sales charts. Yeah. It looks like for superheroes, volume of units sold between 2020 and 2021, it's been roughly the same for superhero bucks.
Yeah, it's been 2.3%. That's right, the one right underneath it. That's flat.
2.3% is the growth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Of units sold.
Yeah. Because at the end of the article that we have from Heidi McDonald over at Comics Beat, she talks about how biased people are when they talk about this subject, and that 2.3%, in her words, 2.3% is modest growth. It is growth and not a cataclysmic decline. You can't say an industry is in decline if it's growing, no matter what the growth is. And I am so done with the conversation about, you know, oh man, comics suck because they went woke, and manga's awesome because it still shows boobs and butts.
Ah, man, Boku no Pico exists. That's
Oh no! Well, only the good mangas, okay, Sean?
I mean, listen, some of the stuff that I have seen when I'm unlucky enough to come across this stuff is let's say not the highest of art, right? Um just the fact that it shows boobs and butts ain't enough. And it feels like a lot of people's argument is rooted in that. I'm sure there's a lot of really smart anime. I'm sure there's a lot, or manga, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's a lot of really smart manga. I'm sure there's a lot of really good stuff across the board. But if your argument is that manga hasn't gone woke, that's ridiculous. Because you can still have, what is it? What's the hottest manga right now?
probably Demon Slayer, I think. Is
Demon Slayer.
the big one right now.
You can have a Demon Slayer equivalent in Western comics, content wise.
Yeah, I guess.
Why not?
It's different. It's different writing. It's different storytelling.
But forget that. I'm talking about the content, like the what happens.
Oh, sure, I guess. But it'll be like a vault book, and nobody will read it.
Marco just burying Vault comics there.
No offense, they have good stuff, but you know, it's like
but if you read their sales between that and manga, a little different.
But even that's not true. Look at how violent Invincible is and The Walking Dead. They're extremely violent.
Outline content's the issue. I think, sure, you have an analogous content between manga and Western superhero stuff, but what makes manga more, I think what sells it more is the accessibility of it. But
you're not talking about what I'm talking about. I'm responding to the argument that comics went woke. And I'm saying that doesn't hold water because it's not content that we can't get in Western comics that you can have in manga. It's not like you couldn't have
argument like
yeah.
And even to that, right? My Hero Academia, they have a note here on it that they removed it because it would have skewed the numbers too much for superhero category. Because My Hero Academia is a superhero book.
Right.
You know, it's probably one of the biggest things next to a Demon Slayer or anything else. So like you have the direct parallel of content of a superhero story about becoming superheroes compared to the entire industry of, you know, the bread and butter of DC and Marvel. You have that direct line, so it does sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Zimbu the monkey in the chat says it's annoying because there are critiques to be made from the left being too shallow with performative representation, but most people complaining just like, hi, I'm fash. You know, it is like a smooth brain straw man argument that I feel like just is a way to get reactions out of people. Like, I don't think that's a legitimate, if you're looking at the data, it's not a legitimate argument.
And by the way, like, I feel very comfortable saying this flatly. If you do not read Western comics because of a woke agenda, you're racist and you need to address that. There's just no way around it. That's dumb as hell. You can talk about that stuff. We talk about it all the time on this podcast, and the conversation is always worth having. But to sit there and say that because Marvel publishes comics with black people in them, that's a woke agenda and performative, that's a racist take. That's where you cross the line. That's not true.
Yeah, I don't
that's
even
ridiculous.
Think it's just racism either, but it's like it's sexism, it's anti-queer sentiment.
It's everything,
and it's all just masked in, honestly, fragile masculinity. Like, that's, if we're gonna get into that discussion, that's exactly what it is, and it's grifters exploiting that for people's money on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Well, we know they don't have an agenda because they did outright cancel that Luke Cage book that was meant to be. Yeah. So like we know they don't have an agenda out there. They be canceling these books left and right.
I think the correct argument is the accessibility of superhero comics. It's not easily accessible. If I want to buy Demon Slayer, I can see, all right, there's volume 1, and I can see, oh, volume 7. It's super easy. They're bite-sized, and they're easily, you can jump on, and you know where to jump on. if I look for Spider-Man, I don't know where the fuck I'm looking.
Yeah,
And
you
if I
got
pick up volume
Spider-Man,
1 of Spider-Man, I'm not gonna like it.
or you don't even know if it's the right. You don't even know if it's the right volume, right? Because it could be volume
Yeah.
1 of X run from whatever years ago to this year to whatever to a mini to something that's inconsequential. There's just so much of it that it's not categorized in a way that
Yeah.
is easily understandable. But I think that's different, right? Because the manga there, it's just one continued serialized story where you can't do that for the publishers here. It's arc after arc of the same story being told by different creators, and you have to remarket those things because they're new creative teams. And I think
Right.
that's a really hard comparison that I think is unique to American comics, but I think it's a detriment because you don't have the single focused story that you would for manga, where you have it over 24 volumes, right? Instead of over 7 different arcs, each ranging from volume 1 to 3.
And it is also like it's a singular vision too. It's like, oh, this is Kishimoto's Naruto, you know.
Yeah.
And instead, you're like, I mean, the independent stuff like Invincible, I guess that's probably as close as you get. But you can't retroactively fit superhero comics into that mold, and I think that hampers it.
And I don't think like there's always a conversation to be had about why comics don't sell as well as manga and stuff like that. And I think all of them are worth having. I think part of it though too is that manga has the hotter hand. You know, it really does. It has the hotter hand. It's what's popular with young people right now. Comics are not in that position.
I just had an aha moment. There's
Yeah.
one thing manga has that superhero comics don't have as much
Boobs,
of.
but
I was gonna say cat girls, actually. Cat girls. We
See?
have Tigra. Where's the Tigra book? I want volume 1 Tigra. That would sell.
Cheetah.
There we go.
Furry content. That's what it is.
Well, we know that would get you to the door, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler.
Marco knows what I've been working on, so.
Whoa, what?
I'm just talking about cat girls. You know,
Wait, is there
never mind.
something going on behind the scenes?
No,
just
never mind,
cat
never
girl
mind.
stuff.
No, we're good. We're good.
Just cat girl stuff.
That's fine.
I want to know.
What I mean, I do too. The other thing too, though, is like the manga to anime pipeline. Like, you know, if you get a decent shonen series, you'll get 3 chapters in, and you've got a TV show.
Yeah, you got a pilot like in what a year.
Yeah, and the Marvel, can't they can't keep up with that at all.
Yeah.
That I think is a really, really good point, because that is what makes the Demon Slayer, because more people will likely watch than will read, so that's what makes Demon Slayer more popular retroactively. You get a cool ass anime made by a really well-known studio, and the quality is there, and you go, oh cool, let me read this because I need to catch up, because I would rather read this and accelerate to wherever they are now. It's the same thing you do with a Naruto situation, or the same way you would have done it with One Piece, right? Like, I can watch it, or I can catch up by reading, and it's a preference at that point. But that pipeline, that connectivity is so smooth that you can go back and forth on pretty much any manga series, and it's likely to have an anime adaptation.
I want to get some of the listener comments. Having you guys react live to our conversations is phenomenal. Appreciate you guys. So Shenron said, I mean, if someone asked me for Spider-Man, I would just say Ultimate Spider-Man. Same writer and just 2 different artists that don't overlap each other. Very manga-esque. I agree with that. I think at this point, the best recommendation for Spider-Man, for someone who wants to read Spider-Man stories, is Ultimate Spider-Man. Unfortunately, Ultimate Spider-Man is 20 years old.
Still, though, that's not bad. Like,
I mean, it is for Marvel superhero comics.
That's the point I'm making. That to give someone the recommendation of where to like jump in with Spider-Man, you still have to go back 20 years. I wouldn't recommend anything that has come out other than like Life Story, I guess. But even that's like not it's a 6-issue mini.
And
There's
like-
nothing modern to recommend.
So I wonder then, is like the, I guess not a solution, but is an answer to manga just like, hey, because we got, I think it was, who was it, Zimbu, no, Shenron also, where like you think having a long run for a comic like Tom King, 100 run for Batman can help accessibility. I think that's the answer, is you give 2 creators, 3 creators, whatever, a 3-year contract to be like, make your mark on this character if you have an idea, and then that's how you're able to better market stuff, instead of having, after Tom King leaves, you have a split second with Tinian, and then after Tinian you go into Williamson or whatever it might be. Like, those disruptions I think are what break up the post trade, where you need to categorize things by those arcs versus having one whole complete story, again, like an Ultimate Spider-Man, like a 100-issue run on Batman, and that helps to categorize things.
I think you're right, but then the problem is, you can't have you can't stick to a monthly schedule for that. Like your average artist isn't going to be able to keep up with that pace with colors, with inks, depending on the artist, and then letters, and let's not forget, writers aren't the perfect turn-in machines that everyone thinks they are too.
Yeah.
And to piggyback on that, you're essentially asking creators, especially artists, to work on the company's character for 3 years. Like, I can't imagine a creator, especially at this juncture, locking themselves in for 3 years guaranteed on a character that they didn't create. Especially for an artist, like, you literally will not be able to do anything else. We even with Saga, right, which is creator-owned IP, BKV and Fiona Staples own it from stem to stern, and they had to take a break to go do other stuff, right? Granted, that was after a longer period, but that was also their owned characters. So it gets tough in Western comics, especially when you're talking about big 2 stuff.
That's a good point.
I do want to jump back into the comments a little bit. Thank you, Average Husband. Haven't seen your name around before. Welcome. Make sure you follow, please, if you haven't.
Is that my burner account?
Oh my god. Zimbu the Monkey. People often say Ultimate Spidey to be a good starter point. I'm relatively new to comics. Yeah, if you haven't read it, I think it is a great starting point if you want to read Spider-Man specifically. I think the early to mid to late 2000s is a pretty decent starting point. But yeah, there are a lot of different places you can start. Maybe we should do a main topic about that down the road. Yeah, it's tough, but the ultimate point of this conversation is that comics are doing fine.
Thanks, Manga.
Thanks for carrying the load there.
There's a solution. Reboot. Reboot the entire universe.
Whoa.
Make everyone a little younger.
Whoa.
You
Tyler,
change the race of certain people.
Whoa.
Reboot the entire line. And
Wow.
call it the Ultimates. Fuck. Shit. Thought I had something.
Oh, wait, hang on, I've got it. What about all new, all different?
Okay.
Fuck.
No, I think that's...
Wait, we can do it.
Whoa.
Shit.
What about
New
a
50
rebirth?
Yeah, that doesn't
What
work.
what about a flashpoint?
No.
Yeah,
Flash porn?
yeah.
Flashboard?
Whoa.
What are you saying? You didn't
Whoa,
finish your word.
that's-
I didn't know. I'm trying to fill
That's
it in.
you. That's you, dude.
What if the universes were all somehow connected, and that there were different variations, so we can get different kinds of stories?
Okay.
Marco,
Okay.
I'm so proud of you. Over these, past few years, you've really blossomed. I never would have expected you to pull out an Infinite Crisis reference.
So comics are definitely thriving. And one area of comics that is really on fire right now is Substack comics. This week, we learned that a new wave, here comes a new challenger, a new wave of creators have joined the Substack movement. Some creators that might even surprise you. And on that very same day, I believe, Substack put out a response to all of the criticism that has been lobbed against them over the last year. And it's iffy. We're going to talk about that in our main topic. Stick around if you're watching us live on Twitch. We will be back in 5 minutes or less to have this discussion about Substack. I'm kind of heated about it, and I have a take. So we're going to get into it. 5 minutes or less. We'll be right back.
Yep. See you guys.
First of all, I'm going to start this conversation by explaining what Substack is for those of you who don't know. Substack is essentially a website that allows you to host your newsletter. That's primarily what it's about. And various writers from all different walks of life, professions, etc., use Substack as a way to connect to their audience and send their messages to them on a monthly, subscription-based capacity. So last year, Nick Spencer, writer formerly of Amazing Spider-Man, Captain America, jazz like that, started to court writers to join Substack. He was paid to be the ambassador of Substack into the comics world. And he was able to recruit names like Scott Snyder, names like James Tynion, names like, help me out. Who else has a
Hickman?
Wait,
Jonathan Hickman.
Is it confirmed that Spencer was the Agent Coulson of Substack?
100%.
He's the guy.
Really? Okay.
And that fact, coupled with what I'm about to talk about, which is their past and their unsavory history, is why so many were skeptical about Substack in the first place. So, Substack. Go ahead.
Sorry, someone did make give me a subscribe, so I did get that.
Yeah, Marco gifted Kale a subscription.
All right, I guess I'll gift someone one too. So
there you go. Let's get a sub train going.
Starting from the pals.
Sub train? Are we talking about 50 Shades again?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey. Running the sub train. Let's do it.
Led by Cyclops.
People all over the world.
So yeah, get that sub train going while I explain why people don't like Substack. So Substack doesn't really curate their content too much, and therefore there's a lot of content on there that is anti-vax, anti-trans, a lot of different things. There is some, I guess you would say, like hateful stuff on there, or just stuff that's like, iffy. And so that caused a lot of concern. In fact, a lot of the creators who joined Substack were called into question about how they could work with this company, knowing that. James Tynion, a very notably gay creator in comics, had to answer to some of those charges. And he said that he was working on, having conversations with the people at Substack about some of that stuff, and that, he was very aware of, what their reputation is. I think he's the only creator that I can think of who specifically spoke to these issues. Maybe others did, and I didn't catch it. But fast forward, Substack has, creators have been working on Substack to much success. And now we're at another point at which a ton more creators have announced their new Substacks. Mind you, what creators put on Substack is it runs the gamut between classes. Scott Snyder teaches a class, behind the scenes and process stuff, actual comic books, newsletters, all kinds of things like that. Now we have a new wave of Substacks. So we've got these creators on the platform. I'll start with Tom King. Tom King and Elsa Chartier.
Chartier,
Chartier.
Chandelier,
Okay.
I guess.
Chartier. Yeah.
Chartier.
Yes,
Okay.
Chartier, yeah.
So Tom and Elsa, they are launching they have launched their Substack, Everlasting Productions. The first product of that being Love Everlasting, which is out now for free. Anyone can read it. What they're selling through the Substack is behind the scenes stuff, process stuff, how they, came to certain ideas, scripts, podcasts, AMAs, all that kind of stuff. And, it looks like a decent value, quite frankly. For $60, you get the comic, which you would get regardless. The first 500 annual subscribers would also get access to 2 yearly Zoom calls. The first 250 would get a mini print from the comic, and the first 100 would get in a raffle to win a signed page by the creators. So that's cool. And then for $250, you would get a print copy of the book, the ability to buy art from the book, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah, it's cool if you want it, whatever. Did any of you get a chance to read the actual comic?
Yeah, I did.
How was it? I didn't read it.
I enjoyed it mostly. I think I'm interested in where they're going. It's a romance comic. But I guess the idea is that this romance will eventually lead to the end of the world. And the thing about this issue in particular, and what makes me sort of hesitate on it, is that it sets up a romance, but then it goes to a different time period and sets up a different romance with the same female lead. And it's very repetitive. So it goes through 3 different periods of this, all roughly the same, while she's figuring out what's going on. And it's a little too repetitive.
I got you.
But it seems like it could go somewhere cool.
Yeah, I really want to read it. I just didn't get the chance. It's new Tom King. I'm sure it's good. They're full length, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I do want to check it out. We're getting more Tinian. It feels like everyone was supposed to come with their best ideas, or like give an idea of what the next year of Substack is going to look like for them, because Tinian announced new content as well. A new book called The Closet, I think it's called. Where do I have that? Yeah, the Closet. And he talked about how important this was to him. It's a book it's a story he's wanted to tell since he was a child, which is pretty cool. If you are not subscribed, you can read the first 10 pages of The Closet. So Gavin Fullerton on art, Chris O'Halloran on colors, Tom Napolitano on letters. This is probably good.
Good team.
Yeah, exactly. Jonathan Hickman announced more stuff coming to his Substack, including the announcement that Stephen Wacker, who was the editor-in-chief of Marvel, he wasn't the editor-in-chief of Marvel. He was a man of many hats at Marvel. Notably, I remember him for editing the hell out of Amazing Spider-Man for many years.
Hawkeye as well.
Yeah, he's now going to be the editor-in-chief over at Jonathan Hickman's Substack.
Wow.
That's a big
so
get.
he left Marvel. He left Marvel to go and do that.
He was head of digital content, I think, or he was working in the digital content space with Marvel prior to this, I believe.
That sounds right to me.
Yeah, I wonder if those Infinity comics might have been his brainchild, but that's a big get.
Yeah,
especially if you're trying to build a universe, your own comic book universe, which is what Hickman is kind of doing.
That right?
Getting Wacker as your editor, that's a good choice.
Yeah, very much so.
It's crazy that they're at a point where they're gonna need an editor like that to manage like a world. Like for this to be the future, it's weird, right? Because like if this is where everybody's going to, my big thing is, do I have to subscribe to all these if I want to see the next Tom King book or the next Tinian book or the next whatever book? Because otherwise, you wait for the print publication or wherever else you can get it. But to get it first, I don't know. I find it kind of frustrating that I have to subscribe to all these things on top of everything else I'm already subscribed to.
Yeah, that was my initial reservation for all this too. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that is that's kind of like the point of the conversation that I wanted to have here. Let me get through a couple more of these announcements and then we'll really dive into that.
Yeah.
Jen Bartel launched a Substack called the Jen Bartel Club, which uses an image of Harley Quinn as like promotional material. I thought that was kind of interesting.
I have the announcement here using Shuri, I believe, as well.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
I wonder what the logistics are there, but sure.
yeah. I don't see how that's possible, but all right. So we got Jen Bartel. The Manga-splaining podcast is going on Substack. They're doing a spin-off that will be over there on Substack.
That's actually pretty cool. Kale, I know you listened to it. What did you react?
So what they're doing, I think, is really, really cool and really, really valuable. They're translating manga that's not been released in the U.S. before, and sort of little known manga that's never been translated into English before. And that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's like their thing. Like that's what they're doing this whole Substack for. I'm wildly excited about that, even just for more stories getting into the world.
This to me is a really good value prop, right? Because it's different from the stuff that I feel like we get otherwise. Subscribing $5 a month, and that's a new chapter of manga each week. So I guess you're paying for what per week, like $1 per issue of a book essentially, and that's not bad. That similar to regular cadence to what you would get if you were subscribed to a Shonen Jump, and the fact that it's gonna be what they would consider like a curated list of manga, like that has to be high quality stuff that hasn't been translated at that point.
Manga-splaining is that Chip show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Debayoki, Chris
That Chip show.
Brothers.
Okay.
David Brothers.
Butcher.
Oh, David
It's
Brothers.
it's cartoonist kayfabe, except instead of Liefeld, it's manga, right?
Cartoons Kayfabe has Jim
I
Rugg.
guess so, yeah.
I meant like in terms of what kind of content they talk about. Yeah.
Brian K. Vaughan and Nico Henriken have launched a Substack, or they've launched a book on Substack, Spectators. It's an OGN, and if you subscribe to their Substack, you can read it. They're also going to have podcasts, process videos, a private forum called The Tower. And it feels like every single one of these Substacks now has a like higher tier offer. So like for them, they have $250 a year. You'll get signed limited edition script to Saga #1,
What?
a hand-drawn sketch card
Damn
from
it.
Nico, and more. Oh, actually, if you subscribe for free, you can read the book. Subscribing only gets you posts and art and giveaways and podcasts and all that stuff I talked about.
Zimbu says, "We love our community fragmentation, folks." This is the Snowpiercer of comics, actually.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that part. Carrie Randolph, Joan Starter, or Starrer, Grant Morrison. This one hurt. One hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think they would do this, to be honest. What they came out with, that makes sense. But yeah.
So yeah, so Grant is joining Substack, announced on Grant's birthday, I believe, coincidentally. And Grant, talked a little bit about what this is going to be. It's like so they said a renewed desire to cut out the middlemen and go back to my roots led all the way to the primordial deaths of Xanadu. My attempt at autobiographical sci-fi collage comics, that's comics with a K, done in the lowest of hands-on anti-NFT lo-fi with felt pens, colored pencils, scissors, and blackmail graphics. Crude, primitive, post-apocalyptic, and back to basics before computers roamed the earth.
That sounds cool as fuck.
It is interesting. I've checked it out, and it looks like a serial killer note. It's collage comics, and I don't know what's going on, which is fair. It's a Grant Morrison joint, but we'll see.
Let's just talk about it. I hate what Substack is doing to comics. I really do. And I wasn't into it when they first announced it, but I was like, let's see what happens. Now I'm just full on disgust. Like, I'm happy for the creators that they have the ability to make money. I really am. But guess what? All these creators were making money before Substack, and they were making a good amount of it. Like, I don't have access to their bank accounts, but I'm pretty sure Scott Snyder makes a lot of money in comics. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like pretty much all the creators that they have tapped are creators who are already successful. And this additional lane is fragmenting the audience. Like what, who was it that said that in the chat? Zimbu the Monkey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Great point. This sucks for people. Like, I love Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison, anything Grant puts out, I want to see. I want to see it. I want to read it. Grant is that person for me in comics. But I'm not subscribing to this. I'm not doing it.
Sean, is Jen Bartel's also tiered?
Let me see. I will have an answer for you in a second.
Assume so.
It's I don't like the tiering fragmentation. Like, I'm okay with, like, the way you mentioned BKVs, where it's tiered, but you get additional stuff. The actual book is free to read, right?
Yeah.
That I'm okay with. If it's tiered in terms of the actual content of it, the book itself, that I don't care for. And also the politics behind Substack ain't the best.
And we're going to talk about that more too, yeah.
And especially, Jen Bartel, who is very vocal on Twitter politically, and I agree with 99% of the stuff she talks about. Seeing then that she came here, it was just like, come on.
I also thought it was weird for Brian K. Vaughan because he also has Panel Syndicate, and that's his, like, baby of where he publishes his own stuff by himself, like, on the web, the private eyes there, He has that space already. But that sucks because, like, he already had that space, so I don't know why you would need to come here outside of maybe it has just more heat on it right now. Yeah.
Money. Yeah.
Moolah, baby.
He's not having to front the space for it.
Fair, but, like, his whole premise was you don't have to pay anything for this anyway. So,
yeah, you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
He does.
No, but I'm saying even as Panel Syndicate, right? Like, you don't have to. And if he's putting out a comic where he's also, you don't have to pay to read the comic, it feels counterintuitive then, right? Because you could have had this there.
By the way, Jen Bartel's is tiered for $4 and change, or $5 a month if you don't do it annually. $4 and change if you do it annually. $58 a year annually. You get exclusive posts. It's a membership. You get access to her shop.
It's more like a Patreon, and I get it. That's fine. Yeah.
Free access includes just work in progress, process tutorials, and more.
I'm not too against that. I'm more against Substack as the company, really, than anything. Because I mean, it is creative types adopting very capitalist, I guess, hierarchies and payment models and stuff, which most creative types can also be more the liberal types, and I feel like this is kind of counterintuitive to more critiques on capitalism that I've seen a lot of them talk about. But also, creative types don't get paid that well, so like it's like where do you go, you know? But it's a weird line that I feel like a lot of like big creatives are having to come to terms with, because it means steady money. Steady money is the tricky part with, you know, when you're a creative. Sure, you can get big deals here. Like Jen Bartel is friggin' designing sneakers that get released.
Awesome.
But is it steady? No, it depends on the job at the time. This is a membership, and it's like I can't fault them for wanting steady money. It just so happens that it's on a platform that's kind of shitty.
But for that, you open up a Patreon or something. You work off of Kickstarters for your books and things like that. You know, it's similar concepts.
But from what we've heard, Substack is offering most of these people a lump sum up front, right?
That's true.
They're getting large sums of money up front. That's the reason that this is happening. Any one of these creators could easily start a Patreon and do the same thing, essentially. But what they can't do is offer you the comic for free. If Tom King and Elsa launched a Patreon, the comic would not be free. Here they can, because they got a large sum of money up front. And that makes it even worse. Look, I don't even want to say this.
Worse how?
Okay. I think personally that some of these creators are milking their audience. That's how I feel. And I don't want to think about them like that. It taints how I view them that they're doing this. Some of these Substack offers $250 a year for process. You got to be kidding me. That's outrageous to me.
Sean, I was gonna say, Sean, you played World of Warcraft. Do you know what a whale is? They're just hunting for whales at this point.
I know, but we like. It feels. I don't want to.
Slimy.
Yeah, I don't want to dramatize it too much, but it feels slimy. Yeah.
Meg says OnlyFans for comics.
What would you pay for that, Sean?
I'm on Scott Snyder's Substack. The only reason I took it is because he's teaching a class. I want to learn from someone who is a master of the industry. There are no other Substacks that I would subscribe to. None.
I think I accidentally subscribed to Zdarsky's, but I think I was signed up to his newsletter in the first place.
Right.
I think that's how that happened.
I might have done that too, or I might have been grandfathered in. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't.
But like in that same vein, like what Sean's talking about, Snyder just offered an extra tier, like I think he called it the founders level. That's like if you pay $300 a year, you can get your comics signed by him, and I don't know. I don't remember all the details, but it was not worth it.
I'm gonna pull it up. I don't want to. I don't know. It's tough to have this conversation because this is the list of what was on offer. The first X amount, I don't remember. I'm sorry. Were able to get one-on-one chats. Okay, first 100 people was one-on-one chats. Dinner at San Diego Comic-Con for the first 100, and a chance to win a ticket to NYCC.
And that's a raffle.
That's a raffle, a chance.
Damn.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
All of those were like the first X amount of people. So that was all gone, within the, probably the first couple of hours, right? Then for everybody else, for $300, right? This is what you get. 24 hours advance on all their merch, the ability to buy it 24 hours ahead of everybody. So the ability to spend more money. Access to all VIP con events for free, meaning whenever Snyder does a paid signing or anything like that, you can go for free. 10 of your books signed, which if you catch Snyder at a con, generally you can do that for free. And 5 exclusive covers, one of them signed by Capullo and Snyder. $300.
I know comic fans. I know speculators. That's a steal for them.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
he mentions that. He was like, yeah, you can get your stuff signed or, take
I
advantage of
almost
us if
feel
you
like-
want, whatever. Like,
I almost feel like if he's trying to take advantage of the speculator market, go for it. Screw him. Milk him. Like, because I know they can be real abrasive in person and stuff too. So like, maybe this is a way of getting money out of him. Maybe so he doesn't have to see him at cons. I don't know. But like, I can't hate as long as the content is more on the higher tiers without excluding, lower tiers from the content, which is the actual project, where it's more additional stuff. I can't really fault them for it. It gets a little, as Zimbu said, hacky when you start mentioning raffle tickets and dinners and stuff, and like that's a little. I think it's hacky or cheesy in my opinion, but like, what's the real content there? But I can't really fault them for wanting steady income.
Me neither. And I don't. I genuinely don't. I get it. I respect the hustle. I really, really, really do. Especially given that we ourselves, everybody on this podcast, we are also content creators. It's a different game, obviously, but you want to make money. Like you hope to be able to make money, and you have to find ways to monetize. The difference between what they're doing and what we do is that every single one of them already earns a ton of money in the industry. And your fans are people who really love and support you. And you're saying, hey, if you want to really support me, spend $300 a year. I don't know.
I'm not viewing it that way, though.
Yeah, you have the option to do so. I'm not saying come here and do so because this is the only option. But like, if you want it, this is what we can offer you. And thank you for wanting to support this much. It's like people who donate more than the minimum.
but like, I don't know. And this, sort of goes back to my original argument with it. It's like, where else are you going to find more Hickman?
Yeah. Thank you, Kale. Yes, that's exactly right. Go ahead. I'll let you answer him since you said it.
Or more Morrison, for that matter. Like, Morrison's been off the grid for how long? Like,
are you guys feeling like, I'm just trying to understand here, like, are you guys feeling like it's then taking them away from the stuff you like? Or it's more of a monopolization of ideas and creatives?
Yeah, it's what Zimbu said. It's a fragmentation of the community. Now, if you want to read Grant Morrison's next comic story, next venture, you have to subscribe to their Substack. Sorry,
and take peyote apparently based on what the content looks like. So
that's just a great book, though.
That just doesn't feel good to me. Like, I can get behind what Tom and Elsa are doing, because over there they're saying, hey, the comic is free. If you want access to like process and things like that, $6 a month. I can get behind that. That's more reasonable. But when you combine what Substack is and what we know them for and the controversy with the fact that so many creators who, by the way, are some of the people who keep the lights on. You know what I'm saying? Like, a new Hickman book keeps the lights on. Hickman is saying, yeah, I'd rather keep my own lights on. And he has all rights to do that. That's fine. It's his right. But the industry doesn't benefit from that decision. And Substack doesn't give a shit about comics. And that sucks. If it was a business that was created by creators for creators, that's different. Substack doesn't care.
Would it not still benefit comics if they are going to find a way to release this outside of Substack for money, and also for if they do end up printing, which I think we've had that confirmed that a few of these will actually see printings? Wouldn't that just be a way to access this early then, and then later you see the sales because they're gonna put this stuff out anyway?
Yeah, but then the heat is gone. Lots of people won't buy it because they already saw it. It's not the same.
And also, I'll see it when I see it. So far we haven't seen that yet. So, or even a plan. We haven't even seen a publishing plan at all. It's mostly been promises. I'm curious, did any of these people, these newer Substack people, speak out against Substack previously when the previous wave happened?
Oh, they must have. Oh my
I would
God.
imagine so. I don't actually know, but I would imagine so.
You, Sean, do you remember Snyder said some stuff in the beginning? He sort of said that he, was, I don't know, comfortable with where Substack was in the podcast or something. Did you remember?
I don't remember, honestly.
I'm gonna see if I can find it in the transcript in my.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some of the comments. By the way, thank you guys so much for all the subs that were gifted. I know some of those came from the people on this podcast, but still, it's much appreciated. Zimbu in the comments has been going off. Thank you. I get the need to cut the middleman. I mean, F the middleman always, but how is Substack not that? A right-wing funded walled garden is now more free. It's the same vibes as communities opened by owning a particular NFT, capitalizing on fear of missing out. That's a great point too.
Yeah, I love Zimbu's energy.
Yeah,
Zimbu has the right energy. I'm feeling it.
Zimbu, I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're a member of our community beyond today, but I hope that you stick around. Yeah, absolutely.
You get a personal invite to the Discord.
Free. It's free, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can go on our separate tiers that are the $50 tier. Where it would just be you in the Discord, so I don't know about that, but
the medic said OnlyFans for comics. Yeah, kind of. It feels like that to some degree. Yeah, I don't know. I recognize that some aspect of what I'm saying might be it might come across as like, downing creators for trying to earn $1, and I swear that's not the spirit of where I'm coming from. It's really not. I want to see comics thrive, and more than just comics thrive, I want to see the creators thrive. I just feel this just doesn't make me feel good. I'd buy books from any of these creators on stands, 100%. And yeah, paying for, Brian K. Vaughan's Substack at the cost of like one comic a month, it does give you access to some cool stuff if you're a fan. But I don't know. It just gets to a point where like, what of James Tinian's can I read right now that's not on Substack? I don't think there's anything. Other than Something Is Killing the Children. I don't think that went on hiatus. But
no, that's still coming out. And then they had the spin-off Slaughterhouse.
House of Slaughter, yeah.
Oh, House of Slaughter, that's it.
But like more of the announcements about Tinian books are on Substack than not at this point.
Yeah.
And I love Tinian's work, but I have Netflix, I have Amazon Prime, like I have all these things. I don't know that I can just keep adding subscriptions to the list. Like at some point, enough is enough, and this is where I personally draw the line. I already don't like digital comics, so for me, that's easy.
True. That's already a big deal for you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to pass on these.
So Zimba brings up another good point in the chat. Instead of this, I'd rather see creator unions or co-ops. This is disempowering creators by elevating the VIPs. I'm like, yeah, yep. This is the issue. Where like, do you buy into, I guess, the capitalist mindset and give this company, which is just going to start paying its, rather than pay its QA engineers and work in the background, they're just going to pay the VIP, the CEOs and stuff, of this company. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's tough.
It's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm like,
yeah.
I was gonna, Sean, what you said that Substack responded to the allegations levied against them, where they've been essentially labeled as like a haven for the deplatformed, right? Like everyone who's not allowed to tweet, or anybody who's not allowed to be on Facebook, they've been flocking to Substack.
So on January 26th, which was 5 days before the wave of Substack announcements, they put out an article, and the article, I'm just gonna read a little bit from it. So it starts with a quote from someone named Heidi Larson, who is the founder of the Vaccine Confidence Project. It starts with a quote from her. If you shut down Facebook tomorrow, it's not going to make this go away. It'll just move. That's in reference to people's lack of confidence in, the government and distrust and the conversations that happen on the weird part of the internet. Public health solutions then would have to come from a different approach. We don't have a misinformation problem. We have a trust problem. Substack follows up and says, this point rings true to us. That's why, as we face growing pressure to censor content published on Substack that to some seems dubious or objectionable, our answer remains the same. We make decisions based on principles, not PR. We will defend free expression, and we will stick to our hands-off approach to content moderation. While we have content guidelines that allow us to protect the platform at the extremes, we will always use censorship as a last resort because we believe open discourse is better for writers and better for our society. This position has some uncomfortable consequences. It means we allow writers to publish what they want and readers to decide for themselves what to read, even when that content is wrong or offensive, and even when it means putting up with the presence of writers with whom we strongly disagree. But we believe this approach is necessary precondition to building trust in the information ecosystem as a whole. How can you say that? How can you say that you are trying to build trust by keeping writers on your staff who lie?
It's bonkers.
How is that trust? I'm very anti-censorship. I don't like censorship. I hate the fact that YouTube does not allow conspiracy videos on there anymore, because just because something is nuts doesn't mean you shouldn't have the right to see it. But you can't tell me that you're trying to engender trust by keeping anti-vax articles and writers on your platform. Anti-trans? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's more than slimy.
It's just like a hand washy thing. It's like, oh, we're just the ones paying them.
And it would be one thing. It would be one thing if they weren't paying them, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, sort of. But if they were just, a place where these writers could put their things and that was it. But Substack is seeking these people out.
They seek them out and they pay them a lot of money. And by the way, I read about one of these anti-vax Substacks. I don't recall the name of the person. $60 a month for that particular one.
Super grifty.
Yep,
you can get ivermectin for less.
And Zimbu makes another good point. So why don't they allow porn and other banned materials? I completely agree with that.
They don't.
Why censor anything? Why not just allow, hey, for $60 a month, I'll compile all the clips I have downloaded from the dark web of beheadings, and we'll just put that up. Why not? Because it's defensive? We'll sell anti-vax.
It's just subscription-based 4chan at that point.
Yeah.
The Brian K. Vaughan one, I don't know if you read into some of it, but hidden in between, there's actually an NSFW part of that Substack that I was scrolling through called Exploding Giraffe Heads or Exploding Giraffe, and it's only for his porn comics.
Wow. Okay.
How much?
Interesting.
It's free. You could read the first 10, 15 pages here.
I didn't know that.
Right. I like Substack.
BKB made those. It just strikes me as we want to make money and we're going to defend our position by using words that make it sound like we give a damn about what we're doing here. And I don't think they do. I really don't.
No, it's just one giant corporate grift is what it is.
Anti-trans, anything sexist, racist, those are not points of view. And that perspective has to go. And businesses like Substack that say things like that are a part of the problem. It's not a point of view to be a racist. No, it's not. Yeah. It's an ideology that's harmful to the world, and you're propagating that by allowing it on your platform. that's what you're doing. And if you want to do that, say that. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They
I don't
probably get
care.
more money from the people who are all about that, honestly.
Yeah. Just don't lie to me.
Yeah.
The trust aspect of it is the piece that is in question. I think if they were straight up like, hey, we have this spectrum of people and then this spectrum of people, and we just want to contain both of them on the platform, at least it's honest.
Right. Yeah. I don't care. Racists exist. I'm sure they have their websites and stuff. And if you feel like courting those people, great. Put that on Front Street. I just know not to visit your website. That's all. No big deal. I don't care. But don't tell me this is about trust while you're lying to me. It's bullshit.
Just want to say hi to Mr. Tiny Corn Dog in chat. I like that name there.
Welcome. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you. Please do leave us a follow if you haven't. So yeah, guys, the Substack thing just rubs me the wrong way. And now whenever a creator is announced as being a part of Substack, I side eye them and it makes me see them differently. BKV is just not a name I ever thought I would see associated with this company. And it makes me feel weird about him.
I was more surprised by Jen Bartel, honestly. She's
I don't know
like
her
super pro, like union, pro, workers' rights and everything. And which I get it. There's an aspect of this where you get to control your content and you're getting paid up front for it. But then there's a moralistic side of it where it's like, do you sacrifice that? Like it's where do you draw the line? So yeah, I was a little surprised by that.
She talked about the fact that, being able to do this was as simple as having an idea for a book, getting the offer, accepting it, obviously, having an idea for a book, reaching out to the artist, they agreed, reaching out to whoever was going to be a part of the team and just starting to work. Yeah. And that's beautiful for creators to have access to. I just think that there's a blood money aspect to this. And if you're not thinking about it, you're just not thinking.
Or it'd be nice if any of these creators said, hey, and some of the subscription money is being donated to, pro-trans organizations or donated to vaccine. That's a little too much. But like just something to combat that, to offset the negative aspects of what you're doing. I don't know.
Yeah, as I recall, that's what Noelle Stevenson and Molly Osterwald, I think is their name. I believe that's what they said they were going to do. They were going to take the Substack deal and then donate what they get to LGBT groups. Or
yeah, I think I remember that.
Zimby says counter systemic issues, individual actions. Yeah, it doesn't usually do shit, but I'm just talking from like a PR aspect of it to make themselves look a little better, maybe. But yeah, it doesn't fix systemic issues. It puts the onus on the individual to fix things that the system should fix. But
I did want to read Shenron's comment too. To me, the Substack is just Patreon with money secured due to contract. Props to the creators for getting the money, but it still doesn't feel as a fresh new wave for comics. And that's probably a more measured take than mine, which Tyler, you were alluding to a little earlier. And Marco was too, and that's fine. Like at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I have no control over it. But all I can tell you is that it doesn't make me feel good about these people.
I mean, Shenron even mentions like it doesn't feel like a fresh new wave of comics. It doesn't feel like comics to me. It feels like content,
Yep.
Which those two words just mean different things to me. There's a different feel to it. And I'm not sure I can really explain that, if that makes sense. I don't know how I can show you how I feel about that, but that's just how I feel.
Well, I mean, to me, it's the difference between like, a comic book and then stuff on YouTube. Like YouTube stuff is content, whereas a comic book is art. And what this feels like is the merging of those. And if you don't create more content, including comic books and art, then you're not going to survive.
Yep.
You mean the ancillary outside of comics things being the content and mixed in with the comics?
In the Substack part of the equation, because I mean, like there is art on YouTube. It's not necessarily food videos or a feet porn or whatever it is Sean looks at, but like the there is stuff there that could be considered art, right? Like, but Substack is, you know, taking the comic book piece of art, and it's, you know, giving this tiered platform so that you will make more content to get them more subscribers so that you will keep going.
It grinds everything down into content.
Yeah.
It corporatizes it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this is any better than working for Marvel or DC. I don't. I don't see it as different outside of the fact that creators are probably getting paid a little better and they're getting their money up front.
Definitely paid a lot better. Yeah.
I don't think it's different. And I think all the creators who took a stance and always talk shit about writing corporately owned comics now don't have a leg to stand on. If you have a Substack, you can't talk about that anymore. Not in my opinion.
But you don't think that Grant's scape of what is it, newspaper clippings and stuff like that would get published at Marvel or DC?
No, because Marvel or DC don't publish that. They only publish superhero comics. But I'm sure that Image would love to have it, or Vault, or Boom. I'm sure any of them would love to have it.
If Grant said, hey, Vault, I got this idea, Vault would be stupid to say no.
It wouldn't matter what he said next.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. It wouldn't matter what they
if
said
Grant
next.
called and they said, hey, this is Grant Morrison, they'd be like, yeah, sure. What are we doing? Like,
How much are we paying you?
How much do you need? Yeah.
Oh, Substack offer you that? Oh, okay.
So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you for the enthusiastic participation in the conversation. Twitch chat, you guys are amazing. By the way, Mr. Corndog, where'd you find us? Just curious, how'd you find us? That's gonna do it for the show this week. Definitely share your thoughts with us about Substack. If you have a different feeling than we do about it, we're very open to that. I don't want you guys to ever think that we're saying the conversation is closed, because it never is. The only thing I'm closed to is the isms. So don't bring that energy. But the conversation can always be had about any topic. So feel free to write in and let us know your thoughts about anything we talked about here on the show. While you're thinking about us, support the show by leaving us a follow, a rating, a review, wherever you're listening to us. YouTube.com/TheComicsPals to subscribe for free. Help us get to 1,000 subscribers this year. That is the goal, and we're going to achieve it with your help. Twitch.tv/TheComicsPals. We go live every Saturday for the Comics Pals main show. Saturdays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Wednesdays for Pals Pulse, 6 p.m. Eastern. This week we're going to be talking about some amount of X-Men stuff, Secret X-Men, X-Deaths #2, and then 2 other books from not X-Men. Maybe.
Probably X-Men Comics, the publisher. Yeah.
This might as well be X-Men the podcast, at least on Pals Pulse. Listen to our Saga Book Club, run those numbers up a little bit. And yeah, write in to let us know what you're thinking about anything at all. Let's get into the plugs. Kale.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at kaleward.com. That's CALEWARD.com. Not a Substack, by the way, a Squarespace. And it's not cheap. So, if you want to front some of that Substack money this way, I'd really appreciate it. I've got a PayPal if you want it. You can DM me for that. But speaking of companies doing good things for their with their platform, Bandcamp Fridays is back. So if you like music, go buy an album from Bandcamp, and the profits go directly to the bands. Unless Bandcamp turns out to be a completely bad platform with bad politics, and then I didn't say this.
I'll edit it in post.
Thanks.
Yeah. Marco.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marco Enomoto. Come talk to me about the latest animes and the latest mangas. I'm actually reading Horimaya, which is a super cute high school love story. Been enjoying it on Hulu, and I'm almost done. I'm on season 5, episode 9 of The Wire, and it's so
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
How do you go from
So good.
high school anime to The Wire?
That's
just-
Marco's mind.
palate
Yeah.
cleansers.
Yeah. You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. You can talk to me about Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm loving it. It's good
I
stuff.
would love to.
Ooh, right, Kale? It's good.
I'm having fun. I have weird opinions about it that I'd like to.
Oh, graphics
Here.
are shit, but the game, I think the gameplay loop is good. Yeah.
I don't mind the graphics.
When you see a Gyarados flying from 100 feet away and it's running at 2 frames per second, it's kind of goofy. It's almost
seen that.
endearingly bad. Zimbu, I want to watch Deadwood. Alternatively, if you want to talk to me about the Book of Boba Fett and how it's actually a good show because it's a Western, even though the last 2 episodes were a completely different show entirely. But yeah, that's what I would gladly talk to you about that. I love Star Wars.
And Mad Men.
I'm a corporate shill for Star Wars. Like I will. All that capitalist talk that I had previously, throw it out the window when it comes to Star Wars with me. I will gush over that. I will eliminate all moral high ground when it comes to that. So, but I'm honest about it. So,
It's like
Substack,
like
do the
Anakin.
same.
He is not on the high ground.
No.
As for me, follow me on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. The only thing I want to talk about is Discord. Come join our Discord server. It's free to do that, by the way, and we're always having great conversations over there. So come hang out with us. If you like, our conversations on here, if you like the conversations that we have with the Twitch chat, if that's something that's appealing to you, you can always get more of that on our Discord server. So thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back next week right here, wherever it is you're listening to us. Thank you. Until then, take care, guys.
See you next week.